Okay. Well, now those 5 songs have prepared us, really, for the great final one, the farewell. This song falls into 3 main sections, each one introduced by a recitativo, and the second and third sections separated by a long symphonic episode for the orchestra alone, in which the ultimate struggle takes place, a very painful piece of music, so that when she returns with her third and final recitativo, it is in absolute calm and serenity. And it tells of the parting of 2 friends who drink a farewell drink, and one wanders off into eternity. Those are the 6 songs. Now, what is it that actually connects these 6 songs and makes them so much of one piece? It's mainly a series of symbols and images which recur.
To take one example only, the 3 tenor songs all make reference to the image of wine,
which is referred to, not just referred to, I mean, the wine is the substance, the chief image. And the image stands for the whole concept of intoxication and self-narcotizing as a modus vivendi, as a way of living with what we call reality. In the first song, as I told you, it's a matter of making oneself aware of why one is drinking. In the second one, we have this cultivated, well-mannered group which are drinking as part of living social life, communal existence, well-bred. And in the third one, the drunken man in spring, we have a really all-out rough assertion of this theme, which says, I'm not even interested in the spring or in that little bird. I just want to remain intoxicated and happy and sing. Of course, that is, we must never forget that that is the main symbol, and Mahler's main symbol, music. That third song, by the way, is a rather timely kind of hippie text, which unfortunately conveys something of the passivity that is all too prevalent in our times. But that is an aside. That really is not pertinent to the work. The alto does not refer to wine in any of her songs, except in the Abschied, where the final song, where all the symbols are drawn together. Almost every image that has been enunciated in the preceding 5 songs finds its way somehow into the 6th. And drinking is mentioned in the 6th only at that moment of farewell, where the friend offers his friend the final drink of farewell, which is in this case a bitter cup. It is no longer enjoyment of life, it's no longer muddling through, but something rather like the bitter cup of Christ's agony in the garden. In this connection, it's interesting to note that the final lines are by Mahler himself. These are not original Chinese poetry. All the words beginning Die liebe Erde to the end were written by Mahler. The dear earth blooms over and over again eternally in spring, and the light comes again after the winter. Everywhere, everywhere, forever and ever. And it ends, of course, with the seemingly interminable repetition of the word ewig, ewig, forever And the final ewig, of course, is not resolved, and one is left floating in Ewigkeit, in eternity. It's a very Eastern idea and a mystical one, not unrelated to the ending of the Ninth Symphony, with which it's very often compared. But it's very different from the Ninth Symphony, even though both endings involve the same mystic achievement, which is the loss of ego, the merging with the cosmos, the loss of personal identity, and the gaining of total identity thereby. The great Bergsonian idea of the all and the nothing being equal, the great nothing toward which all Eastern mysticisms aspire. But it's different from the Ninth Symphony because there one has the feeling of resignation and that one has finally bowed one's head to this inevitability, which is comforting. But it's nothing like the end of Das Lied, in which death is really embraced, and death has become a synonym for eternity. In other words, it is no longer dying, but in some magic way, immortality has been achieved, has been found. I always feel when I finish a performance of this piece, or even a rehearsal of it, the words of Keats' Nightingale ringing in my ears, that particular bit of the ode that says, "Darkling I listen, and for many a time I have been half in love with easeful death." That is almost exactly the quality of the end of this piece. Now more than ever seems it rich to die, to cease upon the midnight with no pain, while thou art pouring forth thy soul abroad in such an ecstasy. That nightingale, which indeed is pouring forth its soul in this whole last section of the Abschied, to cease upon the midnight, ewig, floating in eternity, all überall. And then when it's all over and it's all died away, in that silence, I always hear the last two lines of Keats's ode. Was it a vision or a waking dream? Fled is that music. Do I wake or sleep? And that is the essence. That is all of Das Lied von der Erde.